being a good option is a worse place to stand than you think, because good options get compared, right? And comparison is a game that you lose even when you're the best one. Even when you're best one on your list, there's also ways that you could lose that game. So here's what happens to like being a good option. You get a fair hearing, right? A polite process, a decision is made on price or timing or whatever, right? Your experience doesn't really enter the room as much because everyone on that list has experience, right? That's like the entry fee. You're on that list because of your experience. It's not the differentiator. And when you're the obvious answer instead of a good answer, there is no list. There is no list. Somebody says a name, everybody says, yes, that's the person. And the conversation moves to scheduling, right? That's not arrogance. It's not fame. It's just clarity. It's just clarity on being the solid choice. Obvious doesn't always have to be best, right? It just means that there's one thing people can say about you and be right. Okay, so we're talking here about how to become the obvious choice. My name is Karen Yankovich. I help accomplished women get seen and get chosen. We use LinkedIn and PR to establish these strategies, and getting chosen is the part that is almost never about just being better. Okay, because you've probably been there, right? Where you've been better than someone else and they were chosen, right? I want you to be chosen. Best is a judgment that someone else has to make, right? Obvious isn't best. Obvious is, of course, right? Best is a judgment somebody else is making. It's an evaluation, a comparison, defending the choice. It's work and it's a risk. It's a risk for you if you're looking to build your business on this. It's truly a risk for you to just be always in that evaluation mode. Obvious is the shortcut because there's no evaluation, because there's nothing to weigh it against, right? Like I said before, people don't always hire the best. They hire the one that they don't have to think about. And then they tell themselves that she was the best, right? Maybe you're saying, but I do so many things well. And maybe that's true. But it kind of almost makes you, it's not repeatable, right? Nobody can just pass along that list. The women that get chosen aren't more talented. They're more repeatable. And I want you to be repeatable, not unrepeatable. Does that make sense? So again, if you're new, I'm Karen Yankovich. This is Category of One. I'm here every day at 9 a.m. Eastern, 15 minutes, 10, 15 minutes through December 18th. It's just something I decided I wanted to do every day. We have a different kind of topic. Monday, we talk about your profile. Tuesday, we talk about stages and press. Wednesday, outreach. Thursday, the daily practice. Friday, getting chosen today. And Saturday, I answer one question. Sunday, we talk about your week ahead. Most of you are watching this later. That's how I built it, because I understand we're all busy. The people that I connect with are running around doing a lot of things, not necessarily busy work, because I don't want you to be hustling your work. I want work to be ease, but we have busy lives, right? So comment below and I answer every single question. So here's how you become the obvious choice. You become the obvious choice when it's about the sentence people are saying when you're not there. Okay. Somewhere this week, someone described you to somebody else. Whatever they said, that's your positioning. Not what it says on your website, not what your headline says, that sentence. That's why visibility is so important, because you're training people what you want them to know about you, what you want them to say about you, how you want them to describe you. And most people have never heard theirs, right? And often it's vaguer than they like. She does marketing stuff. She's really smart. I really love working with her. But they don't necessarily know how to describe it. And you don't get to invent the sentence, right? But you need to find the sentence and sharpen the sentence. And the raw material is in how clients talk about you, right? So where do you look? Where do you look? Think about like the first few minutes of a client call, right? What are people saying about you? Why they booked that call, right? Where did they hear about you? What did they think about you? Those are the kinds of things you want to be paying attention to so that you can sharpen that to become the obvious choice, right? Look at your recommendations. What are people asking you for repeatedly, right? If you're being asked the same thing over and over, that's what they're thinking of you for, right? And in your recommendations, Look at them. What are people recommending you for? What are they saying over and over? That's what they know about you. We love recommendations. I love recommendations. But if they're saying, oh my gosh, she's so sweet, it's not going to get you busy. That's going to make you the obvious choice, right? You want recommendations that say every time. I remember working with a guy because one of my friends said to me, every time I have a call with so and so, I make money, right? That's what I want people to say about me. Not that I'm a nice person, right? I want to be a nice person, but I want them to say every time I talk to Karen, I make money. That's the sentence, right? That's what you want to look at. So look at what people are recommending you for. What does a referral say to you when they arrive? Like what when they reach out to you and say, "Hey, Mary told me to call you." What are they saying about that, right? Um, this past Friday, we talked about four names in a room, and the clearest sentence is winning. That's where this sentence comes from. That's where that sentence comes from. Okay, you need to find out what people are saying about you. And there's clues, like I mentioned to you, right? There's clues. It's in the first few minutes of a client call, in your recommendations, in what people are asking you for repeatedly, in what your referrals are saying when they arrive to you, right? There's clues. Read those clues. Are they making you the obvious choice? Are you in a category of one? Okay. Becoming obvious for one thing means being invisible for other things. And that's scary. I get it. That can be scary sometimes. But that's not a side effect. That's the exact mechanism. We want that mechanism. I have said this so many times over the last decade or two that I've been doing LinkedIn strategy. But when I first started doing this work, I was doing social media and marketing strategy. And when somebody needed a speaker for a conference, my name would get thrown out with a bunch of other people. I was in that space where I was being evaluated, right? But when I started to narrow in on LinkedIn, and especially LinkedIn for women, even though I have many of my private clients are men, when people said, hey, I've got this women's conference and I need a speaker, I became the obvious choice if they wanted a LinkedIn speaker. See how that works? So it's not that I was losing business. I still have, like I said, I still have a lot of men that are clients. I love working with men and women, but if somebody's looking for, I am the obvious choice if you're looking for a LinkedIn speaker for a women's conference. See how that works, or a networking speaker. And I get it. The fear is real. Narrow feels like less work. And in practice, narrow is why you're the right work, right? It's why that right work finds you and it finds what you're capable of. Okay. And that's the difference here. That's the difference here. You're not deleting your range, right? You're not deleting your range. It's why you can charge more for what you do. Think about like, a doctor makes $1. A surgeon makes $10. A heart surgeon makes $100. A left ventricle specialist makes $1,000, right? Be the left ventricle specialist. Be the obvious choice. Okay. When you are known for something and and it changes everything for you. It changes everything for you. And here's the thing, it's reversible. It's not a tattoo. It's not carved into Mount Rushmore. You're not shrinking, you're pointing. Okay. So here's what I want you to do today. I want you to text 3 people who know your work and ask them one question. How would you describe what I do to someone else? Don't coach them. Don't explain. Just ask. Okay. And then come back here and tell me in the comments what answers you got, because this is important and I can help you. I want to help you um, reframe this if need be, right? The gap between what they said and what's on your profile and what you're positioning yourself for, that's the whole thing. That's the whole thing. All right. So come back and let me help you with this, because I want there to be more wealthy women in the world. And this is how we do this, right? This is how I do it. This is how I contribute to that. So if you just got here, I'm Karen Yankovich. This is the category of one. And I'm here every day at 9 a.m. Eastern. I am also, the work that we do here it's strategy, right? I love, 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 love teaching strategy. But all the strategy in the world isn't going to be as effective if you haven't done the work first of your LinkedIn profile. And yeah, we talk about that on Mondays, but you know what? I want to go deep with you. So on September 16th, 17th, and 18th, you can check the QR code up there or up there. We're doing the category of one 3-day LinkedIn profile intensive. It's free. It's live. It's 3 days. We're going to rebuild your profile together. Register at KarenYankovich.com/free intensive. You can go to KarenYankovich.com/free intensive or scan the QR code. It's in the description. I want to do this with you. This is why I'm doing these free videos. This is why I'm doing this free thing. I want all of us to step into Q4 making a crap ton of money. How this is setting the stage for this. This is the on-ramp to that. Okay, one more thing, and then I'm going to let you go. Before the end of this year, I'm also taking on a small number of private clients, one day strategy clients. It ends up being about a month, but one day we spend a day together, me and you. We map out your Q4, and in Q4, frankly, we map out most of your upcoming year, your positioning, your profile, your pipeline. It's done. We write your LinkedIn profile for you. It's a ton. It's a ton of information. It is a 5-figure investment, $10,000, and I'm booking those now. So if you've been listening to me for 2 weeks thinking, I don't need 3 days, I need somebody to just do this for me and with me, that's what this is for. Message me here on, DM me here on wherever you're watching this. LinkedIn is the best place to DM me, or message me the word VIP on YouTube or wherever you're seeing this, and I will talk about whether or not it's a fit. This week, we talked about your top card on Monday on LinkedIn, what people see. We talked about your podcast calendar on Tuesday. We talked about the party dress on Wednesday. Yesterday, we talked about what to post. And today, we're talking about being the obvious choice. Tomorrow is Saturday. I'm going to answer the question I've been getting the most this week. That's a wrap for day 16. See you tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern.